The 14th of July, 1989, 12 a.m., Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm not writing this because I want you to believe me. I'm writing this solely as a means of fostering my understanding of what I saw and how to continue to negotiate my life around it and through it. This has been an utterly devastating experience for me, and I can find no one who can truly help or talk to me about it. I'm not even sure if I did find that person, they could help. For me, this is very real, and the surreal nature of it has left me with a form of PTSD. I've only come recently to realize the deep wound it has left. An extension of this goal in all of this here is to understand why and stop it. I've primarily kept this experience to myself or only shared it with people I truly trust for most of my life. I share it now only because I can't take it anymore. I'm getting too old, and the things that happened that night have manifested in a way that are beyond my control. Imagine your greatest nightmare come true. What I saw has come to affect every aspect of my life greatly, still affects me more so now than ever, for several reasons. These reasons are central to why I send this plea. First, I believe I'm being abducted. Secondly, I believe my daughter is now being abducted. Third, these people or beings that are essentially kidnapping us are hurting us mentally and physically. Finally, from what I can gather, these beings, which I believe for very specific reasons, have created us, guided the course of my life to better study how humans in general cope with loss, stress, love, torture, hate, etc. Understanding good and evil only as a human can, I firmly believe these beings are in effect evil in this pursuit. This great experiment is for selfish reasons, and they use us as fodder as we might experiment on an animal. These are some bold statements, and I can easily understand how you would think this is all bull ***T. But, you have to remember, this is not about you. You have to understand that I believe this. And, my goal here is to find others who experience what I experience and gain guidance. It's important to note here too, before I relate my experience, that I am an anthropologist and have examined this situation from every objective and subjective angle possible. Part of my coming clean, so to speak, now, centers on issues of credibility. Scientists don't believe in aliens, generally, and the fact that because in terms of science, I observed and saw what I understand to be a fact, yet there is little information or a credible body of knowledge to support it. It's hard to explain, but before I shared this story I wanted to make sure I was straight on my facts, but there were none, truly, to support my experience. All I've ever had to go on was what I saw, and though I hate that, because I observed what I did, as a responsible and positive contributor to society, I have to state and record what I saw and what I'm experiencing. But, no too, I may have never come looking for help, in this way, if I didn't start recognizing the abductions. What I am about to relate to you is my understanding. I dare argue this is no interpretation or anything to do with perspective. This is a fact, an observation very real in nature, and any deviation from it is purely out of line. A couple specific issues to note. The experience was close, within 10 miles of a military base and 2 miles from an international airport, and I was not using drugs or alcohol. Though I was 14 at the time, I remember the experience vividly and have used all my skills and training to make sense of it. I will argue, though, that I do not believe 90% of the accounts I read or hear. I do not think of this as some gift or romantic experience. This is not science fiction, and there are no winners. I am being hurt, my daughter is being hurt, and until I trust you and you can provide specific elements that allow me to believe your sincerity, do not take offense if we do not come to an understanding. For me, I intend this to be a discussion, a means of people helping each other in friendship. Any augments or name-calling will result in me not cooperating. I already heard enough and don't need any more. So here it is, best as I can relate it. On July 14, 1989, I saw a UFO, up close and with friends. Precisely at 12:03, I noted the time with a clock as we crawled out of the basement of a friend's house. We were sneaking out, the ship did not draw us out, we did not see it from the inside. A ship of immense proportions hovered directly over us and then flew in the sky directly above us and around us for what seemed like minutes. The ship was a giant, bright, glowing like a star, orange round object. It did not pulse, but it did change size at will. Imagine standing close to a water tower and looking up, the ball part of that tower. This ship looked that close but was 3 times the size. During the course of its flight, it changed sizes fluidly and rapidly, made no noise, flew and moved in impossible directions with impossible speed, and essentially left a comet-like trail in its wake. It did make a strange low hum that was barely audible, but I had to strain to hear it. At the end of its flight, it landed in the nearby woods and glowed brightly. As it sat in the woods, 5 to 10 black military helicopters flew over our heads towards the landed ship. These helicopters had no lights and were flying very fast. Once the helicopters made the position, the ship shot straight up into the air and out into space. I never saw it that close ever again, that I remember, but there were 2 more times within that 2-week period that I saw a similar object in the sky flying the same way, but at a distance. Other strange things I noticed when the craft was hanging above use, mainly just then every dog in the neighborhood was barking. No adults, I was 14, saw it, and nobody but myself and 4 other friends saw it. Note 2, since this experience, 3 of the 4 friends remember flipping out about seeing a UFO, but they swear they do not remember seeing it. The 4th friend, the guy who was at my side the whole time, has not responded to my requests to talk and did not respond to my email asking if he remembered the UFO. This is all the fact that I can offer, in terms of what I know I saw. The rest, specifically, the abduction, is happening to me, but I have little control over it and no way of proving it. The only way I'm recognizing it is through dreams, but there are additional details that support that something is going on, and it's during the night while I'm sleeping. What I can tell you though, when it happens, I'm either on a ship or in a room that has not so much alien technology as just technology like what you might see in a hospital, but a little more scary. The whole of the planet, when I go there, and if that's what it is, seems not at all organic and very much all metal in structure, again alien but not exotic or surreal. And, most of my life, I have fought them physical and mentally. All of their attempts to experiment on me, they have trouble holding me down and getting me to accept whatever is going on. What's different now is my daughter is appearing in these abductions. Quite frankly, this is not something that is cool or good or that I think I am chosen, etc. This is awful and I sincerely wish had never happened. I'm not entirely firm in exactly why this is happening, but the reality of what I saw and what I think is happening to me is too great for me not to try to make sense of it and turn to someone for help. I am a rational, mentally stable person with no history of mental illness. I just truly need help with this and have no idea where to turn. A good friend that I trust recommended this site. How I have not heard of it until now rests in the fact that I truly have not researched this much. I don't like to be reminded of that night, and I do not look at the night sky. I'm terrified of all this and just want it to stop. If it's not going to stop, I want to know how to fight it. I will help or do whatever I can to bring it to an end. The attached photo is what these aliens kind of look like. I drew it. They are white with light hair and glowing green or blue eyes. They have a bony yet smooth ridge along the brow and nose. Think early Klingon. Sorry for the reference, but it's similar. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Until now, I've had nowhere to turn. It means a lot. Name removed.
1965-07-0012 AM. I am originally from Indianapolis. Sometime in the late 60s, my brother and I, along with half of Indianapolis, sighted a UFO which subsequently buried itself in a water-filled gravel pit on the east side of Indy. Soldiers from featuring Benjamin Harrison cordon object seen by witnesses in the northeast section of Marion County near Geist Reservoir in the summer of 1965, date unknown. The witnesses were a girl about 16 and her brother who were driving in the area. A glowing triangular silver object larger than a car maneuvered over the witnesses and then plunged into a nearby pond. Shortly afterwards, soldiers believed to be from nearby Fort Harrison appeared and cordoned off the area.
The 15th of June 1972, 2:30 AM. I was young and out riding my bike in the city park about 1/2 mile from home in Beech Grove, Indiana. I stopped to get off and walk my bike up a steep hill. But my arms and legs were stuck. I could not move them at all. I was scared. I looked around, nothing. I looked up and peed my pants. A 25 to 30 foot disc was 50 to 100 feet above me. No lights or sound. A round hole opened in the middle and a bright white beam came out on me. The next thing I remember was seeing the earth get smaller and 3 what you now call greys. 2 on one side and 1 on the other side. I heard them, but not with my ears. But inside my head. They said that they were my friend and that they will need my help someday. They would let me know when and what later. The next thing I knew, it was the next night, and I was asleep in the grass at the top of the hill with my bike next to me. I have never told anyone about this. I am now 58 and disabled.